Hey there, welcome to the world's dirtiest workshop, brought to you by Rider of the Storm. Today we're going to talk about sharpening your clippers for your hedges and things like that, your flowers. These clippers are dull, or at least my wife tells me so. So I'm going to test them real quick and see if they really are, and then I'm going to sharpen them. But to do that, I have to take them apart. There's a nut here, and I'm going to use my socket set and take the pieces apart so that I have two handles and two blades, and then I'm going to sharpen these up and put them back together. Let's test them and see how they work. The blade feels sharp, just not there towards the back end, so that might be the problem. So we're going to try it there and see what happens. Okay, that seems to work. Oh, in the middle it's terrible. So there it's okay. There it's not. So she's right. So here it's fine. Here in the middle, no. And that's the problem. Okay. So it's time to get out my magnifying glass and see what's going on with this blade. The way these clippers work is there's about a 45 to 60 degree angle here on the one side. So maybe 50, 55 degrees, hard to say. But there's an angle there, and that's not very sharp at all. But on this side, now there's a really sharp knife blade here. It's possible that that's been flattened a little bit. It feels sharp, but it clearly isn't, because when you try and cut something, it just doesn't want to cut. So I'm going to get really close to this, and I'm going to see if the blade is just gummed up and just needs to be cleaned, or if this really needs to be sharpened. And I think it needs a sharpening. Maybe the right kind of sharpening. And probably need to clean this up a little bit so that this works better with this cutting surface. And I think we're going to do a really good job with this. So the first thing to do is get out a socket set, take this thing apart. You have to remove the spring that's in between these two pieces first. It fell out. So here's the spring. Take a socket to this nut here. Take the pieces and separate them, and then maybe we'll take a hand file to this. I don't want to put this in the grinder because it'll just destroy it, but a hand file should work just fine. If I can't take this apart, well, I'm just going to have to work with a hand file with this thing together. But let's see what we can do. Okay, I'm back with my socket and my hand file. My hand file has a curved side and a flat side. We're going to make sure we use that flat side, I think. Now, back to these. Now, we've removed the spring, so what we're going to do is we're just going to take a 10 millimeter. Notice I label my sockets so I can see them because I'm kind of old. And I mess things up a lot. You know, sometimes I put my metric sockets on the wrong side of the socket set, and it just bums me out. But, okay, so that nut is off, so we're going to put that aside, and then we're going to see if we can separate. Yes, we can. So there is the pin, and let's see if there's any other parts that fall out of here. No, looks like that's it. Okay, yep, that seems to be fine. Okay, so this is the dull side and this is the sharp side. I'm going to put the sharp side down for a minute. Okay, so the dull side is a flat side, and then it has this curved side where it's just not so sharp. I'm going to use the curved side of this to work on this. Now, I'm going to be looking at this really carefully. See if we can clean up some of the rust and corrosion on this thing. can see here as I'm filing, I'm getting this side and this side, but not the middle so much. That's okay. I'll make sure that I get this edge. I can see which way the file's going. Okay. That's made that a lot sharper, that's for sure. Wow. I also noticed that when the halves come together, that there's a little tiny gap between this half and the other half. So they touch here and here, but not here. So, that might be part of the problem, but I think this will fix it. All right, so just want to make that a little sharper. You don't need to be a master at this kind of stuff, just a homeowner, a crafty homeowner. Now I'm really kind of crafty. Alright, so yeah, that feels a lot sharper. Not sharp enough to cut, but sharp enough that I can feel that. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Yeah, there we go. So I think this one's done. Now for the knife edge one. Now, I caught my wife trying to sharpen this with our knife sharpener, and I said, no, you might actually mess that up. This is a yard tool. You don't want to put a yard tool in a kitchen knife sharpener. That probably isn't the hottest idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set up my hand at an angle, and I'm just going to work this out. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to bring my magnifying glass in here and see if I can get a better look at that. Now, strangely, you want to look at the teeth of your file in the magnifying glass, or maybe even feel it. It looks like the teeth do different things when I pull and when I push. I'm getting a lot more dragging when I pull than when I push. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this across that blade. I'm looking through the magnifying glass as well as the camera. I don't want to dull the edge, I want to sharpen it. Ooh, that's kind of nice. Don't sharpen this side, sharpen this side. You don't have to get the angle 100%. If you look at chisels, they have a double angled blade. So there's the main angle, and then there's a little tiny angle right near the cutting surface. What we're trying to do is turn this garden tool into that kind of a cutting surface. You know, it's going to have two angles on it. And the final angle is going to be super sharp. Do this by listening. Okay, so I'm not getting it there, but I'm getting it there. I can feel it. I can see how the edge is getting shinier right where the cutting surface is. Okay, so yeah, I mean that, I think I got it. Ooh, that's pretty sharp. Be careful, don't pull your finger along the blade. You might actually wind up slicing your finger. Okay, I didn't get that one so well, so I need to go back and hit that again. Okay, yeah, so it looks like I got the edge surface a lot cleaner. Ooh, that seems like that's a lot sharper. Let's try over here a little bit more. Keep bumping the camera and the magnifying glass. Oh, I can feel the little burrs when I pull, because the file gets stuck when I pull on it. Ooh, that does feel a lot better. Okay, so I got this part good, I got this part good, I got this part good, and that part good. Maybe that needs a little bit more. Right there, along the back end of it. Okay, ooh, that's a lot shinier. So that shows you how much that takes. Alright, it's time to put this back together. Looks like the main blade is sliding apart from the handle. Just be careful about that. Okay. I actually could have taken the whole thing apart. Look at that. Ooh, that whole thing slides out. I could have put that in the grinder. Okay, so now that I've hand filed that, that's going to work out great. Because I can take this out of the handle, I can put this in my vise in the garage and really go at this, but I don't think it needs that right now. I think this is plenty sharp enough, and I'm going to assemble it. We're going to try it. Okay, we're back for an assembly attempt. Now we have the two halves here, so we have this half and this half. I'm going to pull the magnifying glass away. So here we are, and it kind of looks like it goes together like this, right? Yeah, I think that's correct. And then we're going to put the pin back in, right, like so. And we're going to take the socket, which still has the nut in it, and we're going to turn it over and see if we can spin that back on. Maybe I'll do it just with my fingers. This has a nylon lock on it for the threads, so you can only get so far with your hands, and that's probably not going to work, so you're going to need that socket to get that really on there. See, that's still loose, and I can't turn that anymore. So we're going to close it, and then I'm going to try and lock that together. All right. Still not right. Something is not correct. So there's a key somewhere on this shaft that's keeping that from locking into place. Let's take a look at that. Okay, there's a flat. Okay, that's the problem. Okay, I didn't have the square part of the bolt lined up to this side. So, just a quick look. You can see there's a square part here on the inside, right there, and then on this side, this is also square. So when you put it together, like so, you have to make sure that you know which way the square is going. So here's the squares at 90 degrees. I'm going to put it together I can see the square is still at 90 degrees. And that would be about like that. Now that's all the way through. And I can put that on there. And spin it on. Okay, you don't want them so stiff that you can't open them because your wife will just get pissed off. Get the tension right on them. And it looks like there's still a gap in the middle here, but I don't think that that's going to be a problem. So let's see if we can put the spring back in. Just going to turn that back in and come over here. Put it in there. Maybe turn it back in on that side. Okay, looks like it's locked in on this side, so I just turned it in and it locked into place. And the other side looks like it just sticks in there like that. Okay. Okay, that looks right. It doesn't look like there's a really big gap in there. I'm going to hold them up to the sun and look right in there and see if there's any light shining through. But at this point, I don't think that there's a problem. The spring's clicking a little bit on that lock right there, but you know what? Let's see. Okay, they're locked together, so that works. Alright, let's go outside and see if I fixed it. I'm going to lock them together for safety right now. Okay, we're back out here in the Texas heat. We're going to open up the lock and get an ample sized branch and give it a whirl. Ooh, that worked out really well. Okay, it's been a couple of days and we're just going to see how well this works out. These are some oak twigs from the yard. Hey, that worked out really good. That worked good. How about towards the middle? Yep. Hey, that worked great. Now you have to remember that, you know, you're a man and your wife's going to be using these. I have the grip of a gorilla because I'm a biker. So, you know, things have to be pretty easy for my wife. Okay. That's working great. Oak is not an easy thing to cut, you know. It's one of the tougher things to cut. So, it's a pretty good test. Now, that's a pretty big twig there. Hey, that's working out really good. How about more towards the middle there? Yep. How about towards the, whoops, there goes the spring. Towards the inside. Put that spring back in and glue it in. That's another problem. Sometimes you just gotta test stuff. See, the spring is now gone. So I'm gonna put that spring in with maybe a little silicone glue and see if that stays in. That is working really good. Look at that cut. Oh, that wasn't the best cut there, but that's okay. Towards the inside. Okay, good. How about towards the end there? Yeah, not bad, not bad. Now, the material's getting stuck in between the blades, but that is not bad. That is not bad at all, to be honest. Alright, so that's working great. Let's fix the spring and we'll finish up here. I just wanted to get a good look at this. Let's take a look at it in the sun. Okay. There doesn't seem to be anything in there holding that spring in place. How about the other side? Is there anything in there holding that spring in place? No, there's no keep, there's no little groove or anything, so we're just going to have to glue that spring in. I thought about it for a little while and I said, you know, I've got some wood glue here, and wood glue stays a little flexible, but it is kind of sticky. So it wouldn't be such a terrible thing to put a dab of wood glue in here and see if that works. And let's try opening the bottle first. There we go. How many times have you tried to squeeze a glue bottle with the glue bottle shut? That seems to be the most common problem with people who use glue, right? So that's all you need right there. And a little bit there. So I'm just going to keep flipping it over, flipping it back, because it is, you know, a little wet, and it will drip. Alright, so, and if your wife gets this on your hand, she's not going to fuss. Alright, so, I just stuck the spring in there and squeezed it shut. See if we can turn it in a little further, maybe. See, it's already popping out. Alright. So I just squeezed it and turned a little bit. And then I'm just going to lock it. And by the time my wife uses this again, the glue will be dry, and it should work just fine. So, you know, hey, you know, you don't have to go out and buy some expensive epoxy or something. Try a little wood glue first. You know, then maybe try a little latex paint, because latex paint works just like a glue. Let it dry for a day. When your wife uses these again, who knows, maybe she'll be pretty happy. Alright, well, thanks for watching Rider of the Storm and the World's Dirtiest Workshop. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Tool tower. Right where my wife wants to see him, right there next to the wasp spray. There we go. Oh, there they are. There's all of them. Alright, so she got like 3 of them. There we go. So right in there with all the other clippers that she has, right there. Okay, very good. Very, very good. Oh. Tool tower, where all the tools are. Yep.